Here's a little background before we go into my session. I was with the same man for 31 years, dated on and off for 10, and then married for 21. We've been separated for 4 years and officially divorced for 2. I have 2 teenage kids. Through my choice, I had not spoken to him pretty much the whole 4 years. I realized that was wrong, and I want to repair the relationship. It wasn't fair to the kids. It's like that oxygen mask thing, when there is an emergency, so you put the mask on yourself. I've been told that not everybody understands the oxygen mask analogy or metaphor, whatever it is. It is when you're on a plane and there's an emergency and oxygen mask drops from the ceiling, and then you are probably wanting to put it on your kids and those you love, and you want to help, but you need to put it on yourself first. And that's kind of counterintuitive. Me as a mom, it's hard. And as a person, I still pretty much was putting everyone first and always putting myself last. So it took me 53 years to put the oxygen mask on myself first. So that's the analogy or metaphor. Okay. That was what I had to do. I had to go no contact for 4 years and rebuild myself. And now I'm strong enough and healthy enough to go on with life and live properly. But I was really not healthy when I got divorced. And, I felt like I was coming out of a fight. When you're in a fight for your life and you sort of survive, but you drag yourself away and you have to heal. And that's kind of exactly where I was at that time. And I'm still coming out of it, and still working on it. I was invited to a party at my ex's house. I had not seen family members or old friends in 5 to 7 years. And I just built up these ridiculous worries, and with no grounds for this. I just figured, they're gonna, through this divorce, they're gonna be on his side and think it's all my fault and all this. And I had created this lie in my mind. I made it up, I have a very good imagination. So, yeah, but that's not good. So I created these worries for myself. So then the day of the party came, and wait a second, what would you do? Have you ever been in this situation, an event or something coming up where you kind of imagine what could happen? Think about it. How'd you feel? And what did you do? What did you do when you had a situation you were really worried about? Well, join me in this therapy session right here and find out. It was a nice afternoon to see everybody, and thank God the weather held. It was really well put together. My ex and kids really did a great job. They had so much food, and all the senior citizens were thrilled with how much food there was. The whole time leading up to it, I wasn't sure how things were going to go with these folks I hadn't seen in years. And it was really lovely. Everybody was sweet and cordial, and we had a great time. So I was relieved. What are your thoughts on that?
Point where you're reaching milestones in your life just from the achievements of your children, and it's a verification of that they're okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had a lot to do with it. Whether that could be thanked for God also. So through His grace to you, and then back to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a reunion, you go back and, well, your life is going good. You're together with yourself. That is another milestone in a sense. Every time you meet, and especially when you have a situation where you have your former husband and everybody else there,
right.
And with all of the history that was in your family about dogma that was going around that, something's wrong with mom. I think that your actions are demonstrating that that was indeed a myth.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. All right. I wish we talked about this beforehand. Because the whole time I was like, I was so nervous. You're right. You're right.
It's Exactly. I want to remind you about what you were concerned about 6 months ago, a year ago.
Right.
And then show you that you literally have achieved this.
Right. Okay.
And it is your achievement.
Okay. Thank you. That's why I like coming here. So,
yeah, that'll be $8. Please.
I know. It's priceless. Remember Lucy had the 5-cent psychiatrist booth? Actually, one of the family members came and she held me on the shoulders and she's like, I'm so glad you're back, and let's continue to keep in touch. So that was really neat. It warmed my heart. Hey, so that was my session, and it was such a relief. Note to self: do not make up things to worry about. Life is full of other things that you can actually be concerned about and focus your energy on. Creating worries, imagining things, imagining situations before they happen. I used to do that a lot. And do you know how often they would turn out that way? Not often, or not ever. So I would make up these scenarios in my head and be like, oh, this or this could happen. Oh my goodness, how would I react? You know what? As long as I'm doing my best, that's all I can do. And it's freeing. It's really a relief. Next time, if I have an event or something I need to do that I'm concerned about, I might write it down, allow myself, 30 minutes to think about it, and then move on and not give it another thought, and maybe distract myself, maybe get busy with something so I don't perseverate. Hey, thanks for watching till the end. Drop a comment and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear them.